and thank you, listeners, for keep waiting because there was another meeting and it just ended. So it's 2-3 minutes delay to join all of you. Thank you very much. And it's a very wonderful talk today. If you see, protected cultivation has led to many dimensions of the protected cultivation. So it's a diversion of the same cultivation practices, but in a time frame. In the open field cultivation, as you know, the chrysanthemum is very well adapted to the season, where in June and July we and those cuttings are produced in summer where the rooting is very difficult because ambient temperature is very high. So in the mindset of the farm, that is very particular, that the chrysanthemum does not produce seeds. Only the terminal cuttings, they give rise to the self-rooting plants, and these self-rooted plants are kept under the shading net in the summer months. So you can see, if a farmer does not know the technology and does not have any sophisticated growing media and materials, so they can simply make the raised beds on the ground, like 6 to 8 inches raised beds, and those raised beds will be 1 meter wide. And if they need to be covered under the strong sun, either on the loop when they are small with the shading net, or when they are rising and rooted enough, they can be provided the shade in the daytime if it is possible, and there is a good beauty. In this farming module, the farmer has to note only one particular thing, the the plant and its flowers just before the winter. So winter means when the sortie commences, the day length decreases beyond 12 hours, that is 24th of October in the North Indian Plains, ICAR, that climate, it becomes shortest. So if we say the 12th of October to become a short day for chrysanthemum, so the response time is normally 2 to 3 weeks to come a flower bud. So it means the chrysanthemum can only be planted 45 to 60 days before the short day commences. So if you minus 45 to 60 days, then we'll realize that in the second week of August or first until first week of September, you need to plant the self-rooted plants. So these plants, when they are ready, normally the making of beds is very congenial. You can see here, the bed size is just 45 centimeter wide. So you can see that there is a channel in between the raised beds, and this raised bed is 1.5 feet, means 45 centimeter. They can also be maintained at 50 centimeter. And even if you do not have a workable soil, then they can still be maintained at 2 feet wide. So the idea here is to make the raised beds, because when you put the flood irrigation, because normally the farmers does not have drip irrigation system even in fields, just because they do not want to invest more money for cultivation. So the technology is very safe here, that if you have a potato planter and you can make the raised beds and allow the water to flood in between, then you will have the clear-cut trenches along with the raised beds of finally getting 1.5 feet wide. So here, why this is necessary? This is necessary because as you cannot plant the chrysanthemum rooted cuttings in the dry soil and also too wet soil. So the idea is, after making the beds, such beds like the potato is being planted, so the potato planter can also be used to make beds like this. And after making beds, the water is allowed to flood in between, and the seasoning of these beds is normally done. So when the seasoning is done and there is a perfect moisture in these beds or between these ridges, you can transplant the seedling very well. So you can see the supply water channel can be connected to these beds, and these beds or blocks can be likewise, that the one block can be irrigated at one time and it should be closed the another time to irrigate the another block. Here, the procedure is to plant the self-rooted cuttings on both the sides of this ridges. If you plant, like you can see, just above the water level, you can plant both sides, these plants here, and you have to do one operation. If you are planting the less number of plants per square area, if you are planting more number of plants per unit area, then there is no use, not required, pinching is not required. If you are planting half of the population, then you need to go for half. So in that case, the farmer has to plant the rooted cuttings 15 days in advance, so that the 15 to 20 days time to again give rise new branches or new sprouts can be taken up, and crop can be raised effectively. So the idea here is to plant on the both side of the races, where you will flood the irrigation water in between, and only the sufficient moisture can reach to the plants. So chrysanthemum is having a superficial root system. Neither it should be desiccated without moisture, and nor it should be imbibed with too much of moisture to avoid or to devoid of the aeration in root. So this technique is very useful. So you will see that staking in such a method, not even staking is also not required for the plant, and you can very, like, if you raise the plants on the surface plane, then you have to grow with the drip irrigation system, where there are no drenches and no flooding is allowed. So you will not see much strength in the plants to raise the surface. And similarly, if you have the area like Calcutta, Nashik, where the climate is centennial, you can still grow the crops very effectively by staking wooden material, nylon net, and so on. You can have the staking in the beds if you have the drip irrigation system. And also, if you do not have drip irrigation system, if you are using the trenches or the beds between trenches, like ridges, then you have to provide the staking. But we have seen in the experiments that if we do not do any staking, we, after certain time of the planting, we have a solvency. This can still again go when the crop is smaller, and it can, like we do for earthing for the potato crop. So similarly, the earthing can be done in chrysanthemum to take a crop, and it avoids the lodging, and also it avoids the over irrigation of the plants. So here you can see very well this cropping pattern in case of chrysanthemum, where these shoots are growing upright without any staking and with no support. So as soon as it will grow, it will support each other and will not fall down, because it has a sufficient strength of the soil raised in the bed. So these flowers can be harvested at cut flowers and can easily sold in the market. So this technology will help in the ways like chrysanthemum. It's is a 45 to 50 days plant where the new shoots growing will have the single buds. So here, if I say that the plants raised for the standard means the uh, single flower on single shoot can be maintained very easily after desuiting and disbudding the stems which we are intended to take the flower buds. So here, if you can say the density of the same crop is such a huge when you plant like 36 plants per square meter, and when they grow up in the large number of shoots at a time, if you pinch, then the number of shoots arises at different times, but they reach the certain level of height, and your crop does not lodge again, so because the sufficient earthing was done before. So here the farmers can take a very well normal crop. And as I said, the plant transplanting can be made in the second and third week of August. And after 40 or 45 days, they will have a bud break. So because onset of the short days commencing in the October third week will give rise to the buds. Here, I want to say one thing, that the researchers have come up in case of chrysanthemum. If you still want to take a cut flower crop in the open fields, the density is very important. If you plant them dense and you target on the non-pinch and no stake varieties, you can still have a very happy crop. Here, the fresh rooted cuttings, which are normally taken late in the season, like August second week or first week, ready for transplanting, they are very fresh and they have the fresh sap inside. So their growth is very fast as compared to the old rooted cuttings, which are normally taken in June and July. So that 1 month difference degenerate photomorphogenically and give rise to the three to four shoots where the sap flow becomes old. So sap flow, if it is fresh and not that old, so rejuvenated shoots are very fresh, they are very sturdy, they are very strong enough to grow, and they bud only once. When they bud only once, so that upright stems can be taken as a cut flower for the market. So this market ready cut flower can be taken up from the crop which is planted in the first, second, and third week of August, and the bud appear in the October third week. So second week or third week is a short day period in case of North Indian plains. So this is where the farmer need not to give the additional lighting, but remember, only one crop can be taken in 1 year. So that is the perfect time zone, the September, October, and November. These 3 months, you will have a one complete crop in 3.5 months time in the from the field. So this crop neither need any photoperiodic light nor any dark period to come into the flowering, because there are natural long days for 45 to 60 days naturally available until October third week, and then they are followed by short days. So when the short days comes, the chrysanthemum comes into bloom, and then you will have a happy crop. So you can tame the various varieties, of course, standards and spray types, and you can have a very good crop. So remember, if you need to stagger the transplanting by every 5 days, then you can have every 1 week difference harvesting in the season. But remember, this is only one crop which can be taken in that time zone. If you plant it delay, so normally the stem length will be lesser, not as compared to the early planting the third week of August or until first week of September. But if you plant this late, then you need additional lighting to grow the stem length perfectly. So this is all about the chrysanthemum, which of course is a short presentation. And the farmers which are planning to have the chrysanthemum, they need to understand the phenology of chrysanthemum. That chrysanthemum, if you cuttings from the plants, they only take 6 to 9 weeks of gestation period for the vegetative growth, sufficient vegetative growth, and then they flower. So if you have an advantage of the climate like NCR or North Indian plains, where the short day comes in second or third week of October, then you do not need to give a long days by additional lighting and short days or dark period by giving dark to force the crop into cut. So there is no such requirement, and you can have a natural cropping in this time zone in under North Indian plains. So the chrysanthemum depend on the varieties. Like some varieties, they need 75 to 90 days for flowering. Some varieties, they need 55 to 60 days, 65 days, 70 days. And some of the varieties which are no pinch, no stake varieties, they are completely determinate in growth. So no matter you plant them late or early, they will flower exactly after 60 to 65 days. So this is very important to choose the varieties even for open field cultivation, where the short gestation period of this chrysanthemum is a must. Otherwise, the chrysanthemum will become very tall. They will they will lodge and they will fall on the ground. They will not have the sturdy stems. If you plant them early in the season, then they will have a very late in the season. You will have a very short growth. If you plant them late in the season, and then you will have a short stems. So this is all about the chrysanthemum production in open field conditions, where the farmers be very cautious to match the time frame of the crop. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Mansi,
you,
for
one and all.
the detailed presentation. Now I'll take up some questions. So, first question is from Mr. Mohan. It's as follows: what's the minimum investment for small area, and return of investment of cut flowers per acre area?
Yeah, if we see open field conditions, if the farmer they have mother stock ready, so they can make plants. If they have planted like 100 square meter mother stock, then they can make at least 3 to 4 lakh plants by themselves. If they do not have, then you need only 3,600 plants for 1 acre area, and which you can also buy at the rate of 2 rupees from the open market. It is available 2 to 3 rupees from the open market. So if the farmer they go such machine and so 20 to 4.5 lakh rupees per acre return they can make. If you get cultivation in open fields, it's hardly 1.5 lakh rupees for 1 acre.
Okay. You can stop sharing the screen. Maybe there is a voice break from your side. You can stop sharing the screen. Yeah. Okay.
If anyone has the question.
Yeah. Next question is: during which month of the year chrysanthemum can be grown?
Yeah, it can be grown any time of the year if you are in Pune, Nasik, Bangalore, or such climate. If you are in North Indian plains or hills, then you have a different timings. So open field cultivation of chrysanthemum can be recommended late in the August transplanting, and you will have November, December your harvesting crop. If you are in the hills, then you need to plant them little early, like March, April. You need to plant, and then you can harvest somewhere in July and August. So these timings, and also if you are planting in late in March, April, or May, June, then you will have until October harvesting in the hills.
Okay. And next question is, how many varieties of chrysanthemum can be grown, or is it only one variety?
Yeah, you can grow any variety in the open field cultivation when where if you know the gestation period of the variety. So normally we have seen that normally seven standard varieties are much preferred in the market, like snowball groups, combo groups, and also standard groups. They can be easily grown, and you have the no pinch, no wig, no stake varieties available: Dino Orange, Autumn White, Pink, Beige. There's so many varieties of daisy groups. They can be planted in the open field.
Okay. And next question is there an export market for flowers like chrysanthemum grown in India?
Yes, chrysanthemum is being exported already, and I think more than 25 crore rupees chrysanthemum is being exported, including the mums, potted flower plants. The share is increasing year by year, but open field cultivation of chrysanthemum, especially doing mums, is a good business if it is done in the soilless and in the SOP, like sanitized atmosphere. So it's very well there. One can take up this activity also for export.
Okay. And Mr. Mohan wants to know, can you provide consultancy or guidance outside the country?
Yeah, of course, we are open to consultancy. Our institute has a provision to provide the consultancy even outside the country.
Okay. And open field versus greenhouse, which form of agriculture is more profitable?
Of course, greenhouse agriculture is more profitable because there you can have a freedom to take at least three crops in 1 year. But open field cultivation is dependent on the climate. So rather you can go only for two crops in 1 year. You cannot take three or four crops like in the greenhouse or protected cultivation.
Okay. Now we have the last question. Do you directly help farmers in the form of guidance and consultancy?
Yes, there are large number of farmers already connected with us on our WhatsApp group, and also directly they contact and they take advice for cultivation at different times.
Okay. Okay. So, Mr. Mohan, I think will be the last question. What about the seed for outside the country?
Seeds out for outside country is already regulated. Even the self-rooted plants also regulated. So only uh, material with phytosanitary certificate you can take uh, outside India, and also you can take from outside to India. So the same rules and regulations, they govern the transition of the material. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Dr. Mansingh, I don't see any more questions from our participants. So
Yeah.
now we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we like to thank you for a short and very detailed, very informative talk. And we also like to thank all the participants for joining this meeting. The meeting will now be closed.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you.